Hello everyone, and what's going on? Today we're going to be going over Potemkin in Season 3 and what he needs to be more competitively viable because, as we know, Potemkin as a tournament character doesn't really have many amazing results, right? Unless you start thinking about like Snake Eyes if his pop off. But there's a lot more that goes into it. And something to note, we have a camera now, both for commentary and streams when I get right back into it. Because right now I'm a little busy with life with family and that, and it makes it kind of tough to stream and try to get a job. It makes things tougher. But besides personal life details, we're gonna be talking about Potemkin in Season 3 and everything that he needs. So let's hop right into it. The first thing I would say he definitely needs is some kind of good mash option. This one has been begged for since the dawn of Potemkin, right? And there's a main reason why, right? Which is Potemkin's 5p here is not very good as a mash option, mostly because some people's meaty buttons they want to, for example. So yeah, in a gap like this, where it's very clearly mashable and fake, Potemkin's 5p will never help him in these types of situations where calling out fake pressure, because if the opponent is dashing in, best example is Giovanna doing her dash in, or Soul Bad Guy doing a run in like here, or doing a low profile move like 2K, his 5-frame mash no longer means anything, and if he wants to call it these gaps, he has to start doing Wake Up Pop Buster. Which, if we go into the risk reward of that, it becomes a lot nastier, because like all of a sudden situations like this where it looks amazing for Potemkin, all of a sudden Soul Bad Guy could go for this. And now you're in the corner, you have to hold Soul Bad Guy pressure. So now it becomes this whole situation of, yeah, it's not exactly great to do Wake Up Pop Buster if it's going to be incorrect. These are situations that I've made up that are kind of not really real, right? But I'm doing this to kind of set an example of what can happen in a match. If I brought up some real examples, I can't be bothered. There's some easy ones that you can bring up. Giovanna dash up, you can't 5p check it. That's a very easy one that you can bring up. Or the fact that Pop Buster OS is pretty disgusting in general as a wake up option because it doesn't really work out. Very rough option to go for. So yeah, that is one thing that we need changed. A better mash option. 5p needs to either hit lows, right? Which, will that be strong? A little bit, because it's +1 on block, meaning you can kind of frame trap it in a way that calls out jump if you like do a delay punch. But like that doesn't lead to a whole lot, especially Fuzzies being so strong as they are in Ghillie gear. It's just a good check button to have. That's the main reason why I'd want to get buffed to hit lower. Second buff goes to 2p. Either if 5p doesn't hit low enough, we need to make 2p come in faster, because this is still an 8-frame button. Yes, 8 frames. If you compare it to a lot of characters' wake up options, you've got Soul Bad Guy 5k. Hell, you even got Axel, who's a zoner by the way, so he isn't supposed to have good defense, having a 5-frame low profile mash option. That's kind of crazy. That is very strong to have. Potemkin does not have this for a 5-frame option because it's 5p. And the problem is that a lot of his defense is gambling. You need to gamble with either Hammerfall, Mega Fist, or Pop Buster. Whereas every other character can do some safe form of defense, right? You can do 5p mash, you can do 2k mash, 5k mash if Soul Bad Guy. There's a lot of characters that have a lot of different varied options that are very safe, where if they are called out, nothing happens. The problem with Potemkin is that all of his, if called out, leads to death. And obviously, mashes won't work on a true meaty, right? That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is, give us a mash that we can use to call out fake pressure, right? Because that's what we need. You either need 2p to become faster, or 5p to hit lows. But let's get on to idea number 2. So one of the other key problems is Oki off of Heat Knuckle. So a lot of the time, Heat Knuckle is used as a kind of a read option most of the time. We don't really use it in combos unless we want to break the wall. We use it as kind of like a read. And that read usually means that we're catching out the sky with Heat Knuckle. But the problem is that Oki is fake as hell. There is nothing that you can do after Heat Knuckle to obtain true Oki. There is like one thing that you can do, which I believe is, I wouldn't even waste the bar for it, but you can kind of like do Hammerfall to get in, and then use your meter to make a real Oki situation. I fucked up, right? But it doesn't matter, you can create a real Oki situation for that, which in my mind, I just don't think it's worth it. You use a bar to set up Gigantic Kaioki, a lot like this. Where if they press something, they get caught and get killed. But the problem is that we're spending bar for Oki off of a very massive read with an anti-air. Heat Knuckle is like a 14 frame move, like a 12 frame move. If you're using this as an anti-air, this is a hard call out, so it should be rewarded. So they reward it with damage, but the thing is us pop players, we don't want damage. Damage is the least thing that we want when we land a read. We want Oki, right? That's why a lot of routes lead to // into Slide Head, 5H into Slide Head, /2H into Garuda, right? We're not focusing on damage whenever we land these normals, we're focusing on key Oki. So in these types of situations, we want access to what gives us the best kind of Oki. So I was thinking that maybe during this move, one buff that you can give it is that while Potemkin is putting his arm out like that, he can slam his arm down. A lot like his Dust Throw, actually. That way we're repurposing animations in a way that would seem cool, where after catching you like that, slams you down and it gives you Oki. It'll do less damage, but it'll give you Oki, and that's exactly what we need right now as Potemkin mains. We need Oki after Heat Knuckle. Because Heat Knuckle is strong, but it needs buffs and ways that make it more competitively viable. And whenever Potemkin's competitively viable is when he has Oki scenarios. Whenever he has these, he's winning, undoubtedly. Those are the main buffs that I would consider like completely necessary between the two, right? The other ones I would recommend is just nice changes to kind of help out the character, right? Because he kind of doesn't need the rest of these. I think he's fine as is, but these two main ones that I just talked about are the key points that I want to bring in. The next one I'm going to want to bring up is a nice little change. It's not necessary, but I would like it. When I hit you with my 28 frame move as a read, I think I should not be -2. I think that if I hit you with a Mega Fist read, I should be able to put on pressure. Not even get a combo, right? Give Potemkin this. Don't even give me a combo. Don't even give me Oki, right? Just make me plus on hit. That is a punish. That is a punish on Mega Fist on hit. And that is what needs to change about one of Potemkin's key moves. Mega Fist is that it's great as a read against some situations. For example, Axel in the matchup, he likes to use 2H to neutral poke against Potemkin, right? This is very well known, right? And with Potemkin, you tend to want to make a read of Kara Mega Fist to get in. That tends to be the key reads. But the thing is, unless you get the counter hit, right? Let me try to set it up. Unless you get the counter hit, you're going to get grabbed every time. And that's the problem with Potemkin, is that the Axels and characters like that can kind of just OS Potemkin's Mega Fist on hit if he does a Kara and get in. All these long range bolt characters like Faust, Axel, Ram can kind of just go like, that wasn't a counter hit, I'm gonna mash throw. And that's one of the problems with Potemkin. I'm getting punished on hit. Shouldn't be a thing. Should not be a thing. Change that, please. It's all I ask. All I ask, right? The next one, a lot of Potemkin say this, I kind of half agree. I think Potemkin needs this kind of buff because it'd be fun, interesting, and definitely help him out in the long run, which is whenever he does Pop Buster, his Oki's kind of fake. It's kind of fake. As you can tell, Axel had enough time to press Dust Throw and whiff it. Meaning that in this situation, Potemkin's have lapped this, by the way, if you want a just frame close slash, you have to perform 3 just frames. The Hammerfall break, and the close slash. You need to perform 3 just frames in a row, right? Just for Oki after Pop Buster. I understand that Pot Buster is by far his strongest move, right? Like, the damage he does is, like, nasty depending on the character, right? You can do it up to 40, does up to 30, right? The thing is, though, Potemkin, at this point now, does nothing. And the thing is, unlike Street Fighter 6, which gives you amazing base mechanics, right? I mean, it might change after this new dust system that they're implementing, but unlike Street Fighter, they give you these amazing base mechanics like Drive Rush, Drive Parry. Zangief is able to get in after doing these big Giga Throws to do a lot of damage. Galley Gear Potemkin doesn't have that. Like, the base mechanics in this game are great, right? Having access to Hammerfall PRC Pot Buster is amazing. It's definitely great tech, and you can't argue this, right? It's amazing to have, but the thing is, if he doesn't have that, which is more than likely after Round Start Pot Buster or Pressure into Pot Buster or Low Health Pot Buster, right? Because you use meter to get in, right? That is how you set up the Pot Buster. Like, you probably went like this, probably went like this, and then you set up a close slash, and then you have like no bars left, right? That's the problem, is that you probably don't have meter to get Oki after Pot Buster. You probably have nothing that you can do afterwards. So this needs to change, right? We need some kind of Oki situation. People are thinking that whenever you do Pot Buster, they're either closer, or you can do something that kind of pulls them in, gravitates them in. Which, you know, that'd be nice. I'd like that. But the next change I would offer is a bit of a fun one, right? And it even fucks with my tech, right? Keep that in mind. I'm willing to be nerfed, guys. I'm willing to be nerfed, okay? Next change is on Slide Head. Whenever you land Slide Head, it knocks the opponent further back, meaning your Oki can vary depending on where it lands at. If Potemkin is this close, Oki is by far the best that you're gonna get. Hell, I was able with a close slash, that's how good that Oki is, right? However, about this range, Oki becomes a little tougher. It becomes a little tougher, and then at full screen, you have to start calling out what people do from here. So it becomes like this. Oki after Slide Head is not always guaranteed, even though you made the reads, right? That's the thing. You made the read, but it doesn't work anymore. So what I think needs to change, just for the better, is that after Slide Head, the opponent gets pulled in a lot like this piece of tech, right? Watch what happens here. Axel got pulled in after doing my funny tech, which I recommend you watch. I made a video on it. The thing is, the Slide Head pulled in, right? And I think Slide Head should naturally do that on hit, not on block, right? On block, keep it the same way it is, right? Don't do anything on block. But on hit, let it pull in a little bit. That way Oki is a little bit real from situations like this. You know, instead of having to make me guess, give me real Oki from there. So yeah, that is like the five main things I would completely say Pop would have nice changes with. But here's a fun one. A lot of Potemkins do the setup. Including myself, I also do the setup. But how fun would it be if you could do this without meter? So let's say Potemkin could do the pose of Garuda, right? A lot like this, right? He does it like that, but he can feint it. So you know, like a lot like Gunflame feint, where so bad guy will come in and go like gun, and then he will stop, right? What if it worked a lot like that, but for Gigantor Kai? Sorry, not Gigantor Kai, Garuda Impact, right? Brain smelling. He would do Garuda, stop, and then you can set up a strike throw afterwards. You can go bump, right? Or you can go into Pot Buster. I think this would be an amazing change for Potemkin, just as a fun thing, because as we see, characters are getting new special moves, and some of their special moves are literally the ability to feint something, you know? A lot like Foss, he can see what item he got, and go like, trumpet? Nah, shoot that out somewhere else, right? It'd be nice if Potemkin can kind of do that with Garuda, right? So if I do Oki, and I'm all like, the thing is, this is a problem with Potemkin, right? He's fuzzyable. But if people see Garuda, they're not gonna fuzzy. No one's fuzzying Garuda. So you do Garuda, shoot it, and then feint them out. Go for the grab, go for the strike. That way it adds another layer to your strike throw, and that's what I think Potemkin needs to scare the opponents even more than what he already does up close, just for a bit of fun. Change that I could say that will definitely make Potemkin a lot better, just in general, is just some kind of safe button to press and neutral. We were given 2D, right? We were given 2D, which is a very nice button. It is. It does a lot. It reaches far. It gives knockdown. But if I was to give it a minor buff, because this happens a lot, if I catch you backdashing, if I catch you trying to backdash 2D after a close slash, that is fake okay. Axel can mash out of that every time, right? So this would be a nice little change, make it so the aerial hit of 2D would give you the same knockdown as grounded hit 2Ds. Because there's some characters that get this, right? There are some characters that get aerial hit 2Ds that lead to a knockdown. Some of them may have a gimmick to them, and that's fair enough, but I think Potemkin needs this as a change, because unless the opponent's jumping, whatever you try to call it a fuzzy with this, it just doesn't work, right? It does not work compared to calling out jump. If they do backdash or some kind of maneuverable option that puts them in the air like frame 3, a lot like Mega Fist, like in the Potemkin mirror, 2D doesn't help. So that's something that needs to change. We need to make it so that Potemkin's 2D will just shut down backdashes, right? Because that's what we need. We need something that will just kind of kill a backdash, because that's what Potemkin is lacking in that type of sense. But let's go on to the last and final buff of this video. So the next buff that I would like to see, and I'm going to get Goldless to represent the problem with Potemkin with his close slash. Already got him set to backdash on Wake Up. Yes, he is. Close slash is only active for 4 frames, meaning Goldless can do a Wake Up backdash to call out not only Pop Buster, but also a well-placed close slash. And that is something that sucks about Potemkin close slash, because it's +4 on block. The game developers thought to themselves it needs to be active 4 on hit. Well, sorry, 4 active frames when actually hitting. And the problem with that is that a lot of characters' active frames on close slash are 6 or 7. Meaning, if you want to backdash it, you need to be a big body. Because Potemkin's is a 4 frame like active window, every character in the game can backdash it on Wake Up, including the Pop Buster. Meaning, in Layer 1, Potemkin's Layer 1 against someone who is high level and well aware of what the character wants to do gets shut down. The Potemkin player needs to immediately go to his Layer 2 game plan, and the thing about Guilty Gear is, depending how strong your layers are, your character will definitely provide you with one of the best results in tournaments. That's why Happy Chaos is so strong. His Layer 1 is crazy, his Layers 2 is crazy, and his Layer 3 is crazy. He loops back around to Layer 1. And that is something that needs to change for Potemkin. We need to make it so his Layer 1 is true. So, if Close Slash is a little bit more active, say 6 frames active, he will become stronger in Oki scenarios. But one thing that we need to do is either make it, because like +4 is too strong on block, right? A Close Slash that is active for 4 frames, and it being +4 is very strong, right? Besides the active frames, that part sucks. I would say make it +2 on block, because that still sets up some real pressure, right? With it being active for 6 frames, like the rest of the cast. Because this will change so much about Potemkin. A Goldless main will have to do a well-placed backdash if they want to get out, and the Potemkin main can delay their close slash by 1 frame to kind of cover all options, meaning a delayed backdash is the only thing that you can do to avoid the close slash now, and the close slash is more likely to catch most backdashes in this game, which is exactly what Potemkin is needing against the big bodies, right? Whenever you fight any big bodies like Nago himself, Goldless, Leo, or like Bedman, they can backdash him all day for a reason. Because his close slash isn't that good. His Garuda is good, right? Don't get me wrong, but in situations like this where Slight Head lands here, and you can only do close slash for your meaty, you're not getting anything. So that needs to change effective immediately. But yeah, that has been all my thoughts that I think Potemkin needs to change to become a stronger character in the current meta. The meta will definitely change for Season 3. Will Happy Chaos stay number 1 though? More than likely, but Potemkin's problem isn't Happy Chaos, it's himself. He needs to get over himself to climb that hurdle and become better. With these changes, it'll definitely make him a better character, but I want to hear what you guys think. What can Potemkin get to improve his toolkit, and what can Potemkin get to make his toolkit a bit more fun in general? But yeah, that's me, Patriarch Panda. Made a fun little video, kinda enjoyed it, and I hope everyone enjoys my breakdown of what Potemkin needs for Season 3.